Kia ora everyone, back here for some more LEGO Clone Wars releases. This here is set 7753, the Pirate Tank, which is based on the Cartoon Network Clone Wars series. We have here 372 pieces in total with 3 minifigures, 2 of which were exclusive to this set. It retailed back in the day for $40 USD before tax. Here in NZ, I'm thinking it was priced at around maybe 80 to 90 NZD then, pretty high up there honestly. The current price point for this thing in the aftermarket space is about $269 in sealed condition or $138 in second-hand condition. I have a notification from my emails dating back to 2021 where it shows that the current bidding price at that time was $76, so it looks like I might have won this for about the regular retail price from back in the day. The set overview there is a WL-05 speeder tank, which in the show is used by Hondo and his band of pirates. The set here contains a figure of Hondo and Turk Falso, and it also includes the Jedi of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now I can't quite recall the exact episode that this might have been based on. The set did release in 2009, but one episode of Hondo's that I think back to quite often is the Season 2 episode Bounty Hunters, which aired in 2010. The additional pirate figure in this set though did not appear in that episode from memory, so it's not a set idea that's taken from that specifically. If I take a look at the source material though, I think that this is captured quite well for the time. It's big and bulky and it feels rigid in that front section there with those teeth-like pieces. Overall it doesn't have those fine details, but you do get the base shaping really well. I feel like you could easily tell the similarities between the model and the reference material. I want to also cover immediately what I always repeat when it comes to sets like this: brittle brown pieces in LEGO. Older LEGO sets like this that use the brittle brown are very prone to breaking today. I forgot to film it, but I do actually have a piece that is broken, and it broke in storage. Nothing too bad though, and trust me, you're not going to be able to tell what piece it is in this video, but it just goes to show that even broken down and very carefully put away into storage, this can still have breakage. In hands, this is nothing like I've ever built in LEGO Star Wars before. The pirate tank looks really menacing for that display, but let's cover some stickers. At first I had no idea what this is, and I still don't really. Source material images suggest that this might have been LEGO's way of trying to show depth between the layers maybe? And we have loads of stickers up here in the top section too. There's 3 used for one door section alone. Your last few stickers there are up top on those engines. Now the set here shows that in the instructions this segment of the build is used for minifigure placement. The characters in the show can obviously hitch a ride on the tanks by hopping onto the sides here, but the minifigure placement feels like my personal desperate attempt to store all my figures in one place. It doesn't feel like it's the most optimized if you ask me. I think it looks awkward having them sideways like that, and it's also just a really tight space for them. We have a turret up top here which features a full rotation, and you spot correctly, it includes a sticker of a targeting system. It's very simple, but it is still cool to see here. The set wants you to place Hondo there, by the way, as shown on the instructions here, but Hondo does have some age difficulties. It's not his legs this time, no, they actually work quite well. It's actually his arms. It's still that reddish colored plastic, so the arms will only move about this far before I feel like I'm starting to break them. Luckily though, he can stand in place or just lay down or something. It's not the worst thing to happen here. And some more talks on that teethy ridged section. The set uses quite a lot of these hinge pieces for the overall shaping. We've got some on the sides there, and the front prongs are also styled this way, and this is me showing off those build methods. It's always been fascinating to me since hinges can often be used for features like objects opening and closing, but only occasionally are they used in ways not intended to be played with. But speaking of play, these here are the flick-fire missiles, and this was a real reality check for me. The instructions here show that yeah, this is correct, and you're supposed to slide your finger in between the bricks to fire those missiles. That tiny gap is not made for my hands. This is a very uncomfortable play feature that could only work for a small child. But the missiles do work, as they do in every set from this era. Once I got used to it, it wasn't so bad, but at first I was very confused as to how to get these things to work. Before looking at the engines, these side wing sections here feature the Atlantis spear guns for some side detailing, also placed on hinges of some kind for some light movements. The engines placed at the back are really cool. You can move these things downwards if you want, and now we've got a really cool pirate themed flash speeder, but of course that's not intended. And you can also see we have once more some extra missiles there at the back, the flick-fire kind, and they're the traditional kind too, so I can actually play around with these ones. And then as for our back section, it's rather boring. You can see more of the Technic parts there that help build the base of the tank. In fact, actually, taking a look underneath the tank, we can see the Technic parts there used to build the body and the framing. We've got some wheels there, but the wheels are very simple. They're just 4 disc pieces. There's no tires or anything, so they barely work if you ask me. It just kind of feels like I'm dragging this thing around, not necessarily driving it. It's not nearly as smooth as I would have liked them to be. The last feature there at the back of the vehicle is a chunky piece, which is actually another play feature. You can press it down and that back seat will pop up to reveal a figure inside the tank. A little awkward placement wise for filming, but yeah, Hondo can be set back here inside the tank for some cover. It's very exposed here, as you can see. There's no ground or anything inside the tank, so it feels like a facade tank build if anything. The minifigures there are dated, but very cool for this release. Again, 2 of these were exclusive here, which only made the set more appealing for the collectors. This here is Obi-Wan Kenobi based on his Clone Wars appearance, the first time on this channel, which is really cool because in my personal life, this figure specifically managed to evade me for years. I really love most of this figure. I like the torso print a lot and the hairpiece is great too. Both of those parts were only ever used for him, though Obi-Wan is not an exclusive figure here. His face is obviously the main issue, of course, that many people have, though Clone Wars LEGO sets decided to adapt the cartoon style face designs, making these rather uncanny looking figures. They are very distinct on your shelves and they really stand out against your other figures. It's his mouth that's always been the part that confused me, if I'm honest. Just the placement with the way his beard is designed there, it just kind of throws me off, but I still like that minifigure. You can see that mine does have a chunk of his wrist missing. The seller did not inform me of this when I bought the set, mind you. The torso does make for a pretty good custom Obi-Wan Clone Wars styled figure if you take a regular styled head and you put that there instead. A very cool figure that I am happy to have. His value is very simple, just between $10 to $20 still today, but that's not too bad for a figure that's more than 15 years old. And this here is Hondo Ohnaka. He is exclusive to this set and easily the reason why this set is so sought after today in the aftermarket space. At the time, I think Hondo was just a kind of throwaway type character. He showed up on the show occasionally, but now, years later, he's the comedic relief in Star Wars Rebels, he's been featured in some of the games, he was even used prominently at Galaxy's Edge, he's part of the ride there. He became a fan favorite character and therefore his LEGO value only increased. He's currently valued between $60 to $90 in NZD, which is insane, and really, you probably want the second-hand one too, since the newer condition figures are more likely to break, not being used to being played with, but in saying that, a second-hand figure is also likely to break for the opposite reasons. So really the best hope here is that LEGO just remake him at some point. The Weequay design here is a strange one for me. I really like the face prints and I think that the Clone Wars style actually works here for them as well, but LEGO just did not want to do any specially molded parts or fancy prints for this guy, and man, that translation really does show. I always saw his costume with some greys and red, not dark black personally, and I think he could have used a cape or something there to represent his robes, not just a simple plain torso. The worst offender though for me comes with that hat piece. They just use the regular pirate bandana and they print those locks on his back there. It just looks really distracting to me. I'd love to see a brand new figure instead designed with the modern approach of some molded pieces. And then this here is Turk Falso, who works as part of Hondo's crew, but according to his wiki he only appears in like 2 episodes or something. He does feature some very cool and unique printing with that blue torso. I do really like that design there. I'm also nostalgic for this figure's choice of blasters. He uses 2 of the regular revolvers, which is what the Attack of the Clones Jango Fett release used, so props to that there. But same sort of criticisms as Hondo here. They printed the bandana on his head for some reason, and they've also printed his locks on the back of his torso. It's a shame too, because that bandana would have been very useful for customs if they released it as a separate piece. The instructions here are all falling apart at the seams, so I have to be extra careful when it comes to rebuilding this one. Vader there is up in the corner for these older sets from pre-2010. The back of the sets there show the build all complete, and then we get to the inventory list and some of the features here are highlighted, which is very helpful when it comes to filming. This image here shows me how the missiles work, and this one here shows off that hidden compartment. The next page there shows the figure roster, which is interesting. I don't recall seeing this in other sets, and more missiles work with that back function. And then here we have the set roster for the available products at the time. Really cool stuff, basically the same sets from that Separatist shuttle release, which has been added here at the back. I still really like that Y-Wing build, I think it's awesome, and I love that Endor set too. The build is great, and I remembered seeing it on shelves at the time and really wanting it. However, my favorite LEGO Star Wars set here is easily the Venator, which I missed at the time, and I'd love to get my hands on it. I see this occasionally online for about 350 NZD here though. I don't really want to pay that much for this thing. The back there shows off the LEGO Club and the winning max. And once you apply some extra minifigures there to help defend a small village, you get a really cool battle scene going on. You can add this to the list of set ideas that LEGO are just never going to touch again. I think the build is really special for the time, and I think it resembles the idea quite nicely. The minifigures I appreciate, though they need a bit of work to help fit in with their displays of the modern era, but besides that, it's a pretty solid release. If you enjoyed this look at an older LEGO Star Wars The Clone Wars set, liking this video here and subscribing to the channel does help to support more videos like this one in the future. Thanks for watching everyone, ka kite anō, see you all next time.